I feel like it's going to get probably a little bananas here tonight in Grayson for the Banana Ball City Selection Show. More cities, more stadiums, more teams to come next season. And speaking of which, I'm joined now by Coach Mick of the Texas Tailgaters, of course, last season's brand new team. And Coach, just a year ago here, it was you guys being the ones introduced to this organization. What advice do you have for the two new teams coming in next year? They really are off to a flying start. You're absolutely right. 6-0 on the season thus far. And this is a team that had 6 losses last year. They were just 4-6, didn't even make it to the playoffs, so it's been a complete turnaround. Welcome back into the end zone, and right now is normally when we'd be going into our play of the week, but Jeff, it's the season of giving, so I say we give a little more than just one play.
All the holes out here are named after a flower or plant that grows on the grounds. What are you guys naming your hole if you got the opportunity? Doesn't have to be a flower.
Alligator.
Morning bell.
Candy cane.
Any reason why?
No.
Just a big candy cane guy?
Not really.
No? All right, well, sure, that works. And as you say, only game in the nation going on. Later in the summer, you're going to be on national TV again. How exciting is it to see the growth of this league, not only nationally, but also right here in Statesboro? Then the much anticipated birth of his son Bennett comes on May 8th. Just over a week after that, then, we get right here to a little detour in the roadmap here in Jacksonville, where the Georgia Bulldogs survived a scare against the Florida Gators earlier tonight. It was a tight game the whole way through. That was decided by just a couple of big plays in the fourth quarter. I know he's been struggling as of late, but that's kind of the storyline. You think he's been struggling as of late. Last 2 weeks, both top 15 finishes. And this man won this tournament back in 2022. He then finished in second in 2023. Sure, last year might have been a little bit of a down year, but he's back with a vengeance, with something to prove. Jordan Spieth, heard it here first. And I've got the man who started it all here next to me, Jesse Cole. Jesse, of course, you know, it seems like just yesterday that we were here for the start of spring training. You guys kick off the tour back at the start of the month, and now you're here, home opener. Does it kind of feel like opening night 2.0? Well, if you're a UGA fan, the Century might just be your new favorite PGA event. 4 Bulldogs finished tied 14th or better in the opening tournament of 2024.
Rachel, for a game that was 16 years in the making, the Bulldogs weren't able to get much going, were they?
No, they were not, Jeff. And as you said, 16 years, that's a long time to wait for just about anything in life. So maybe it was that anticipation and build up to this series that got the best of the Bulldogs out here today. I'm not too far from you across the field on the other sideline here alongside Toombs County head coach Buddy Martin. And Coach, I know each week you guys look at every game as the most important one of this season, but obviously there's been a lot of build up to this one here tonight. What is the message to the guys heading into this one?
Rachel?
Yeah, my puck drop at this year's Savannah Hockey Classic just happened not too long ago. Right now it's Florida and Tennessee on the ice. Florida with that 1-goal advantage in the first intermission here.
And of course, they're all here to celebrate the 4 inductees going into the Hall of Fame in this year's class. And speaking of, look who I found, one of those inductees right here. Donald Chumley, first a football star growing up in high school at Groves. You've heard of the pimento cheese sandwich and the egg salad sandwich, but one of the newer Masters classics, the Georgia Peach ice cream sandwich, has proven to be a fan favorite so far this year. When you get out of the shower and you use your towel, is it clean or is it dirty? Because you're clean coming out of the shower.
Yeah, I mean, so
You gotta dry off. You gotta get the water off of you.
So is the water dirty?
Not necessarily, but you just don't want you could reuse the towel. Nah, I don't reuse the towel. I don't know.
Do penguins have knees?
Maybe.
Maybe. This is a yes or no question.
They probably do have knees. I don't know. I'm going to go with knees.
Yes, they do have knees.
They do.
Their legs are surprisingly long.
Yeah, I can see that. They're underneath their fur.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we know some things.
Yeah, we know some things.
All right, well, we made the quick trip over here to the kids zone, and I'm joined by Alex Hamilton, the Senior Director of the South Carolina Junior Golf Foundation. Whew, I got it right. Check one. Alex, this is the first time that you all have been out here for the kids. What has the experience been like so far at this year's tournament?
And we've had hundreds of kids come through every day, so it's been amazing.
And now these hundreds of kids are practically pros thanks to your help, right?
I mean, I don't want to say that.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to put myself on the line here for some reason, and I expect to be a pro after this, Alex.
All
okay?
right, well, we'll see.
All right, let's
this
see.
One might be a little bit short. Let's try this one.
Maybe just I'm a little older than the
There you
kids who
go.
are normally
That's
out
right.
here.
That's right. All right.
Okay, so normally I don't do this, but I'm going to pass off the mic to
All right.
you so you
I
can
got
kind of coach me through this and what I should do.
All right, we'll see what we can do here. All right, I got you a ball. We're going to line up probably right over here.
All right.
So this is probably about a 8-footer or so. Most of the kids kind of start back here, but we're going to start you down here. Your grip looking pretty good. I saw you hit one earlier. This is going to break just a touch to the left, so just a nice, easy stroke. I think you can make it. Just a touch.
A little to the right.
Just a little to the right.
Pressure's on.
I know, but I like it. Good setup, good grip, nice, easy stroke. Oh, a little too hard. Little too hard.
That was a little hot.
Little hot. Came in a little hot.
Okay, take
All right.
two. Take two.
Take 2 here.
Woo.
All right. I'm
I'm
gonna
nervous now.
line you up this
Should I
time.
do
Is that all right? No. We're not going to do aim point. We don't have time for all that. We'll get the golf course all backed up here. We're going to line you up right here. All right. Here we go. Just straight back, straight through. You got it. Look at that. Boom. How about that?
That was so impressive. That wasn't even planned, guys. That was crazy.
Absolutely.
I'll grab
Nice
this
job.
back from you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll give
absolutely.
you that. Okay, so now I just go sign up and I can get on
Yeah,
tour,
no,
right?
Yeah, you can probably play tomorrow even.
Oh, wow. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, me,
Yeah,
one and the same.
Same thing.
Well, over the last few years, pickleball has taken the country by storm. Tennis courts are turning into pickleball courts, and your friends and family have probably invested in a paddle or two. It's a great way to get outside and exercise, but for one Beaufort resident, it's much more than that.
Yours, Brady. Nice return, man.
4 years ago, life changed for Beaufort resident Scott Ryder.
I was riding my bike one day right past these courts when it was a basketball court, and people were setting up a temporary net to play pickleball.
Since, pickleball has become his exercise of choice.
All right, 1-0-2.
But it's more than just a fun way to keep active.
Ha-ha!
It's saving his life.
So I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 18 years ago.
Fast forward to now, he takes 35 pills a day, but exercise, he says, is the best medicine.
When you're out there playing on the court, you kind of get immersed into the game itself, and you kind of forget you have Parkinson's. Now, if somebody's standing off the side to watch, I'm sure they're picking up very quickly. Something's not quite right with that guy.
Those he plays with say the differences are few and far between, though.
He has a couple of moves. He's changed his hands for the paddles. Like, I'll keep mine in right hand. He'll switch it a little bit, but that's really the only thing.
Over the years, Scott has learned what he is and isn't capable of, but just his presence on the court inspires so many.
He's very, very determined. He's very generous. He does an enormous amount of work for the Parkinson's effort.
That work began 4 years ago as an idea to teach people with Parkinson's how to play pickleball in a way that best suits their abilities. Then Scott took that idea to the Medical University of South Carolina, where a second idea of certifying coaches came about.
We're working on finalizing the curriculum, hopefully in the next 60 days to certify coaches to be certified Parkinson's pickleball instructors, and they'll be able to do it virtually by tying into Selkirk.
Selkirk, a pickleball equipment brand, has also joined in the fight by creating custom paddles featuring the logo of the Parkinson's Foundation.
My son said, well, I want to have a Selkirk paddle. I was like, why? Well, because Scott.
While the future for Scott is unknown, he's prepared to paddle through whatever challenges the disease brings.
I can choose to dwell on the negative aspects of life or focus on the positive aspects of life, and I wear this on my wrist every day. IWNQ. I will never quit, and that's sort of my mantra or my motto that I live by.
Well, this right here is one of those special paddles with the Parkinson's Foundation logo on it, and 12% of their sales is donated to the foundation. That percentage representing the 1.2 million people projected to be living with Parkinson's by 2030. During the month of October, we celebrate World Mental Health Day. It's a topic that often comes with some sort of stigma in our society, But one of our area's most well-known athletes is working to change that by sharing his own struggles. You're known as the greatest showman. Did it feel inside almost like you were anything but?
Literally anything but. I thought I was the lowest person on earth. I felt like no one had ever had a panic attack except for me.
Bananas star Jackson Olsen is adored by millions of fans. They love him for his trick plays at second base and for his social media content.
We're roommates. His clothes are my clothes. Please stop wearing my clothes.
But behind the viral videos and stadium cheers was one of the 1 in 10 Americans who experience panic attacks in a given year. It hit Olsen back in February during a game in Savannah. The greatest show in sports was suddenly without its master showman.
I was sweating, but I was cold, and then I was hot, and then I wasn't sweating, so it was like hot flashes, but kind of opposite, and then back and forth.
It was the first of many panic attacks to come over the course of the next month. Attacks so crippling, they kept him out of games.
So I couldn't play in Miami. And I told everyone I was sick. I had to tell everyone, all the fans, what am I going to say? Immediately, yeah, I'm having panic attacks, guys, can't play today. That was the thing that I knew in that moment I was going to have to talk about 8 months later, and I did.
In September, Olsen shared his mental health struggles publicly, giving his friends and family a lot of credit for helping him work through his anxiety.
It was kind of rough on me, too. It made me kind of sad seeing him like that, but, you know, I kept telling him, we're in the best place in the world. We're in Banana Land. Let's just keep doing what we do.
I remember just one day I told him, I was like, hey, I'm dealing with this. You need to come over right now because there's no one in my house, and I'm, like, freaking out and panicking. And he came right over. We talked about it, and it kind of just like, all right. I have friends.
That was the turning point for Olsen. The uncertainty of the season, the pressure to make new content, and the other triggers of the panic attacks all subsided. A 180 he knew was worth sharing, despite any kind of stigma he might have faced.
I've only thought about the positive, and all the comments, the thousands and thousands of comments that I got and messages were all positive. And so it's like, I already make fun of myself enough. Like, that's way worse than admitting that I have like problems that everybody else has.
Since those darker days back in February, Olsen says it's turned into the best year of his life. And you know, you can't go back again to the world because we were living it. As P.T. Barnum would put it, he's come alive. So come alive. For Olsen, opening up publicly about his experience was cathartic. And although he's now figured out how to prevent his panic attacks from taking over, knowing he's not alone in facing this struggle has been encouraging. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tonight, the St. Andrews student body served up their annual volleyball fundraiser, a tradition that pits the classes against each other, all for a good cause.
The second we got back into school, it was, hey, we're doing this again. Do you want to be a part of it? What do you think we can do to improve? And you know, we've spent countless hours. I mean, even today. Today was just everyone's running around everywhere trying to get all the last minute things settled.
But it wasn't until after the first 2 matches of the night that the real reason for being there came into focus. The students took a break from drawing up the X's and O's, and 8-year-old Finn went from watching on the sideline to being in the middle of the action.
Get him, Finn! Get him! Get him! Yeah!
But taming the lion was only the beginning. His biggest wish was about to come true, granted to him through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
You're gonna be a zookeeper at Disney World, buddy.
Yeah! At just 4 years old, Finn was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia.
Hands down the worst experience of your life, just watching him and being completely helpless to do anything to help him. There was any Band-Aid or any kiss that could make it better.
But tonight, it was better. And what made it even more special, Finn's cousin Jacob, who also led the efforts in making this night happen, got to be the one to present the wish. Something that filled Jacob with joy after seeing everything his little cousin has gone through.
I couldn't do anything for him, and I hated it. I wanted to help him, but I couldn't. Just had to sit by while he went through that by himself.
In August of 2022, Finn rang the bell, and his family hoped the worst was behind them. But about a year and a half later, Finn relapsed. And things were even scarier the second time around. But Finn kept fighting, and 4 months later, he was back in remission. And now, in just 10 days, he'll be living his dream as a zookeeper at Animal Kingdom. And after tonight, he's fully equipped for the job. Are you gonna put on that zookeeper outfit?
Yes.
How soon after this is that gonna be on you?
Like when I get home.
He says he's most looking forward to meeting a sloth. The elephants and giraffes, they're a distant second and third. In Savannah, Rachel West, WTOC Sports. Well, there's a reason March is the month of madness. Tonight we saw 2 different top 25 matchups end on buzzer beaters in overtime, while Notre Dame and Cal outdid everyone by taking it down to the wire in 4 overtimes. But also tonight, one of our own teams from right here in Savannah had some madness of their own ensue. I'm talking about Savannah State taking on Tuskegee in the SIAC Tournament Championship. Now, Tigers trailed by 4 at the half. They were able to pull even at about the 10-minute mark in the second. From there, though, the Golden Tigers rebuilt a lead, extending it to as many as 8. But Savannah State, they did not come this far just to come this far. Javonte Landy, a huge part of the comeback. He then now will end up at the foul line, ties it up at 61 apiece. 100 seconds to go now. Tuskegee, no good on that shot, but they get the putback for the lead. Down on the other end, though, Landy feeling himself tonight. The Windsor Forest alum ties it up once again. Now just 20 seconds left. Ball ends up in the hands of A.J. Plain. A huge 3 to go up by 3. Savannah State fans in the crowd, they're loving what they see. Tuskegee, though, they're not going away. They nail a 3 of their own, and we're back tied with 6 seconds left. After a timeout, Landy escapes a double team, takes the inbound, draws the foul. He goes to the line, makes 1 of 2 to give the Tigers a 1-point lead with 2 seconds left. Tuskegee, they can't make any magic of their own happen, and Savannah State is going dancing. They win the SIAC championship, just the 3rd conference tournament title in school history. The Tigers closing the game on a 17-8 run, 12 of those 17 coming from the Savannah native, Javonte Landy. Well, country music star Riley Green was in Statesboro today, leading up to his headlining performance at Gata Jam tonight. And what a better way to spend the afternoon than taking in some of America's favorite pastime and throwing out the first pitch. The singer's most recent album is titled Don't Mind If I Do, which ironically, that's exactly what the Eagles said to completing a sweep of Brown today. Game 1 of today's doubleheader was tied at 1 until here in the 3rd. With a man on third, Daniel Habb rips one into the left field corner. That makes it 2-1 Eagles. We then jump to the 5th. Sean Smith at the plate. He blasts a leadoff home run out to the outfield deck. He then skips his way on into home, and in that handshake right there must have passed some mojo off to J.P. Herholz, because he then goes back to back. Before the inning would end, Nico Sinise would tack on yet another homer, and it was a 6-1 Southern lead. Things would stay that way until the 8th, where with the bases loaded, Smith comes through yet again. His double down the left field line clears the bases. Georgia Southern bringing the offense in this one. They get the win in game 1 of the day with the final game of the series on deck. We'll put that score on hold, though, for just a minute to jump over to softball's second game of the day. The defense on full display at the start of this one. Ryder with a runner on first here in the second. Pop up behind the plate. Valerie Combs not only catches it falling into the net, the awareness to turn around and gun down the runner trying to tag up. Eagles get out of the inning. On to the 3rd now, and this time it's going to be Kayla Christensen flashing the leather to keep the Bronx off the bases. We'll then head down to the bottom of the frame. Southern's offense, they're starting to wake up a little bit here. They do get a runner over to 3rd, but 90 feet away is where she'd stay. That's going to be okay, though, because just an inning later, with a runner on, Delaney Thames drills it to left center over the wall. That puts the home team up 2. They'd smash another 2-run homer in the 5th and go on to win it 4-0. Well, both teams playing doubleheaders today, so here are the rest of those scores. Baseball wins a tight one in game 2 of the day, a suicide squeeze in the 9th, getting the job done for them. Meanwhile, softball, they do come up short against Maryland in their first game of the day. Great work there by Chestnut and Fort Bliss to turn a negative situation into a positive, but we here at WTOC still had one more burning question. What exactly does a plant-based hot dog taste like, and can you tell the difference between that and a regular one? So to get those answers, we put some of our staff to the test.
It smells weird in here, Rachel. I'm gonna be real with you. Is it already recording? It is. Okay. So, oh, you're not gonna tell me which one's which. I have to guess.
I am not. You have to guess.
All right, here we go.
That looks a little bit dodgy.
Whew. Okay, that's the vegetarian one. And that's the real one.
I don't know what this is. Well, this should never be served on a national holiday.
It's not American. Extremely uniform consistency inside. I think this is the not meat one.
That's weird. That one's gotta be the vegan one. It's gotta be. Am I right?
You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. You're totally right.
I was like, you bought some funky hot dogs if I'm wrong, girl.
Oh man. I'm sorry all my vegans out there. That's crazy. It tastes like if bologna was a hot dog.
I've had other vegan hot dogs that I've loved, and I couldn't tell the difference. So
I just bought the wrong brand.
No.
That looks like meat. It has the texture of meat. That smells like meat. This has absolutely no smell whatsoever.
I definitely think this was the real one. The not meat one was not terrible, but I think it tasted a little off.
How many of the real ones could you eat in 10 minutes?
1.
10 minutes? You're only giving us one?
Maybe like 6. 6, I could like probably fully commit to. How about that?
You do get water now to wash it down.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
How about the bread? Let me tell you. Let me critique this bread. Bread, why is the bread so sugary?
Well, Dawn, I'm not gonna lie. I tried the vegan one and the regular one.
We
After
saw
doing
you.
that, you saw my face. It was not pretty.
How many of them got it right?
Most of them.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
coloring's
there is a big
little
difference.
different. It's kind of a dead giveaway, but most of them did it. Honestly, didn't look at the color ahead of time. So thank you guys for that. And it was still easy to tell.
Well, that was, and you still have friends, so it wasn't that bad.
I think so. I think so. We'll check back tomorrow.
Thanks, Rachel. We'll be right back.